We are surrounded on all sides, above and below, within and without, by love, protection, divinity, and magic. The circle is cast, and so it is.
Hello. My name is Chelb. My pronouns are they, them, and this is Phasecraft Collective, your weekly check-in with the cards to get the vibe, see what's possible, get a look into the energy for the week to come. Ha! Things are not getting better, folks. Things are not getting better, but that's okay. That's okay because we're in this together. And we will figure something out. I'm not going to say we'll figure it out. Hopefully we do eventually, but for now, we're just doing our best. So, speaking of doing your best or doing anything, I think I mentioned it last week, but I am doing a class on resistance magic on February 13th. 6 to 7 p.m. Central, virtual over Zoom. It's going to be a lot about protection. It's going to be a lot about grounding and safety. And then, we'll also talk about hexing the patriarchy a little bit, if you're into that. The class is $33, but if you want to attend and cost is a barrier, please reach out to me. It's important knowledge that I think everyone should have. If you can pay, I would love it if you did, just so that, it can help kind of offset anyone who needs to come without paying, which again is great if that's you, if you are interested in it, but the cost is not going to work for you, please just shoot me an email. You can use the contact form on my website, but just wanted to put that out there. And then of course on Thursday, February 6th, devotions, working with deities. If you've ever been interested in deity work, even if you don't actually want to start doing it and just want to learn a little bit more about working with deities in a modern context, even if you don't believe in them, class is for you. So come on through. Again, info always in the episode description. But let's get into it, shall we? Let's take a moment to breathe and ground and center together, because I know I need it. So I'm going to close my eyes and invite you to do the same if it feels safe and good to do so. Just take a couple of breaths, as deep as you need. Feel your shoulders rising and falling, your rib cage expanding and softening. And as you exhale, let your breath travel down your body and into wherever you're making contact with the ground, making you aware of your anchor to the earth. Feeling gravity hold you, feeling the earth support you. And stay steady with your breath as I call to the spirits and guardians of the elements. And as I name them, imagine their forces creating a circle, a barrier of protection around you. Maybe you see a ring of salt or fire. Maybe the ground opens up and fills with the water that lives below its surface. Maybe you see stones or flowers or trees rising up from the earth. Maybe you see a barrier of smoke or swirling air, creating a force field to hold you in. Whatever you see, whatever comes to mind is perfect. I call to the spirits and guardians of the north, of earth, the deepest roots and the tallest trees, the stardust that gave shape to this planet into our bones. Hail and welcome. I call to the spirits and guardians of the east, of air, of wind and breath, of thought and change. Hail and welcome. I call to the spirits and guardians of the south, the fire, the life-giving sun, the powers of creation and destruction, cleansing and renewal, hail and welcome. And I call to the spirits and guardians of the west, of water, of the oceans and our blood, the rivers and our sweat, the rain and our tears, hail and welcome. We are surrounded on all sides, above and below, within and without, by love, protection, divinity, and magic. The circle is cast, and so it is. You can take another couple of deep breaths, and whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I may have started some internet drama right before I came to this. It's fine. So that's heavily on my mind. So let me I'm not going to say anything about it. You can go check out my threads if you want to know, but I'm just going to say this here and now. If you're casting a spell outside, please do not pour salt on the earth. Use chalk, powdered chalk. Use ground up eggshells. Use flowers. Use sticks. Just draw a circle in the dirt with the stick. Just visualize it in your mind like we do at the beginning of this podcast every week. That's all. Oh, Lord. I put my Threads profile on private for like 12 hours because I was like, I need a break from people who like aren't already with me on this. And then this morning I was like, you know what? I got things to say and I need the world to hear them. And the Ace of Swords fell out when I said that just now, so the tarot agrees with me. We've got the Five of Swords again. That one's been coming up a lot. A lot. It's that energy of, again, like meeting people where they're at, of recognizing what is productive when it comes to conversations, right? Is it worth it to feel right when in reality we need to, Six of Pentacles, we need to work together a little bit. Yeah. I know I always like start talking about the cards before we're done receiving them, but I can't help myself. Is that it? That's a short one today. Oh, one more. More working together. Three of Pentacles. And the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands has been popping up a lot too. Remembering our power and using it to improve the lives of others. Okay, I'm going to call it there in case or unless there's anything else pressing. It's like, yes, the freaking Hanged one again. Okay, so the messages are repeating themselves, which is not surprising, right? Like, sometimes and if you pull tarot for yourself, you've definitely experienced this where you just like keep getting the same card day after day after day, or like the same combination of cards like every like 3 days, or whatever it is. And it's easy to get frustrated when you're getting like the same cards over and over and over again. But it just means that like the work is still being done, and that's not bad. Like, it's okay to not resolve something after the first time you hear it, especially like things like the Hanged one, the Five of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords is also here, like things like that are like energetically kind of daunting. It can take work, and like, yeah, Three of Pentacles, building a community, a team, that takes time, that takes effort, right? So anyway, but first and foremost, we have the Six of Wands. And I think this is a really, really, really important reminder, because the Six of Wands and the Ten of Swords too to celebrate the wins we get when we get them, right? There's a lot of shit happening. There are a lot of really scary things shifting and changing, and things will be rolled back. Things will be blocked. Things already have been rolled back and blocked. And we need to take the moments to recognize and celebrate that when it happens and use it to remind us of our strength so that we can pull ourselves out of these 10 of Swords moments where the overwhelm becomes so intense that we feel like we can't move, right? Celebrate every little thing that you can and allow that to lift you up, or at least help you start to move. Because yes, things are scary and there is still good happening. There will always still be good happening. The Wheel of Fortune, I'm like kind of mad at. The Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Swords. I actually think that the Wheel of Fortune is kind of complementing the Five of Swords here, of like inviting patience, right? Of recognizing, again, as I've said with the Five of Swords like 1,000 times, recognizing when your efforts are better spent elsewhere, or recognizing when the feeling of being right is less important than the connection that needs to be made, or recognizing when pushing and like continuing to go and go and go, even if like the conversation ends or the situation ends, at the end of it, you're just not going to actually feel resolved or better. Because separation and like breaking bridges, that's not it. Burning bridges and cutting things off doesn't usually feel good, even when it's done for the best. So allow yourself to be patient. Allow yourself to take a slightly different approach where you're kind of building instead of pushing. Ask more questions rather than bombarding with more answers. Does that make sense? There are a lot of things that need to happen like now and instantly, and there are also a lot of things that we can't control. So focus on what you can control, which is largely your response. Yeah. And then, again, we have the Ace of Swords, as I mentioned, and the Six of Pentacles, and then the Seven of Cups, which I think the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups have something to say together here. But that Ace of Swords of like letting your truth really come through, really allowing yourself to speak up when necessary, to use the sword of truth to like, I know I just said like cutting people off doesn't feel good, but like cut through bullshit, through misinformation. But again, looking at your approach to it to see how it can be most effective. Your communication, your mental acuity can be very, very clear and useful right now if you don't let yourself get distracted and bogged down by the intentional overwhelm that is getting thrown on us right now. So in the Seven of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, when help arrives, it would be beneficial to take a moment and make sure you know exactly what the conditions and stipulations and actual offerings of that help is. Who is sweeping in to fix things? And why? And did they cause the problem to begin with? And also remembering that if you're waiting for someone to save you, you've already given up the power that you have over the situation. So maybe it's time to instead of reaching out your hand and asking, standing up and declaring instead. And then again, looking at the options available to you, kind of back to that Wheel of Fortune of like taking your time, using patience to like really think about what you can do, but not accepting everything at first glance. Even the bad things, actually. Not taking things at face value. I'm one of those people that is like, nothing matters, like, you know, frowny face, but also like nothing matters, happy face. Or also like, it's not that deep, but also it's absolutely the deepest thing in the world. Everything is deep, right? So just go deeper. Look below the surface. Look past the headlines. Look at the sources before you make any choices or sound any alarms. For example, I saw a thread this morning where someone was like, the passport renewal site is down, we're officially trapped. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And I look in the replies and someone replied with the same like, no, it's up. Threads just blocked your link. Like maybe you had a typo or something. Like, you know, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of alarmist situation coming on with people who think they're helping. There's a lot of alarms being sounded from people who think they're helping. But you need to look further and deeper before you respond. Yeah. And like I said, we have 3 of Pentacles. We have Queen of Wands. We have Knight of Cups. And then we finished with the Hanged One. Our best friend right now, TBH. The Queen of Wands and the Knight of Cups as this like, I feel like these are the roles needed to complete your 3 of Pentacles. Or asking yourself what role you can play in a team. And also, so Queen of Wands and Knight of Cups. Queen of Wands is an interesting character. They know who they are. They know what they want. They know what they have to offer, but they're also willing to listen and learn. The Knight of Cups moves from the heart, leads their life in love, sometimes to their detriment, dreams big. But the point here is that both of these figures have a lot of heart and compassion. So when you're looking for that community, that team, I feel like I've said this before, you might need to set aside the mental, logical, we don't work together on paper kind of ideas, and instead open yourself up to being compassionate, to listening, and to using your mere presence to create change. You being in spaces where people don't fully align with you will automatically, over time, create change. Good or bad, easy or hard, that is, well, probably hard actually with the Hanged One. Probably difficult. Probably you will need to force yourself to sacrifice a little bit, to give a little bit, or to stay silent instead of responding. For taking the time to observe, even if it feels restrictive, even if it forces you to look at things from a different perspective. The challenge of seeing what can happen when you simply stop and look, and how that can expand and open your mind, inspire ideas, and inspire change. And I think it's interesting. The Hanged One in older decks, it's called the Traitor. And I think it's interesting for us to reflect on that word and what that means, and what it means to be a traitor. And depending on what you're betraying, is it actually a bad thing to be? Yeah. So I'm just going to leave that there. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Cups. So we come back to that celebrating the little things whenever we can. But not just celebrating yourself and like the wins of like the collective, but like spreading the love to everyone in your life. Celebrating everyone. Sending a text at the end of the day saying like, I'm grateful to know you. If you're cool like me and you have the Finch Care app, where you have a little burb that you take care of by taking care of yourself, you can send little messages to your friends. And that is exactly Three of Cups energy. And you should get the Finch Care app because it's fun and it's like a Tamagotchi, but better. So, anyway. Yeah. The joy, the inherent joy and celebration and connection and love that we all have within us needs to be uplifted, not suppressed. Do not let anything suppress your joy. Cool. Yeah, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So cool. That's it. That's the message for this week. It's a good one. I love this deck a lot. This is the Moon Baby Tarot. I do think it's out of print at this point. I'm so sorry. But it's a recolor of the Hoi Polloi Tarot. But it's like perfect card thickness and texture. I love this one. And it always gives just the best messages. Anyway, that's just me waxing poetic about this tarot deck for a second. Let's go ahead and close our circle and like move about our lives. So you can once again join me in closing your eyes if it feels safe and good to do so. Take a couple of breaths. Let everything kind of land and settle. Reimagine that elemental circle of protection that you put up around yourself. And take a big deep breath in. And as you exhale through your mouth, release it. Send salt scattering, extinguish fire, water sinking back into the earth, plants, stone, trees retreating back into the ground, smoke or air dissipating, opening the circle and releasing the energy. I release the spirits and guardians of the west, the south, the east, and the north, sending you back to your place in the natural order with praise and with gratitude. I send the energy of all those watching and listening back to them whole, complete, and intact. And I take my energy back to myself whole, complete, and intact. May we remain friends, though our energies are no longer crossed, corded, or tangled at all, starting now. Take a breath, feel your energy settle into all yours. The circle is open, and so it is. Awesome. Okay, well, that is it for us this week. Yeah, what a good one. What a good one. I hope to see you at Devotions on Thursday. Or if you need a tarot reading, anything like that, all the info is in the episode description. February tarot scopes went out on Saturday. So if you want to read your tarot scope, episode description. My Patreon has been up for 2 weeks, which means that in the next week, I will probably be asking all the patrons about getting started on some of the offerings, like our seasonal class, our first Q&A session, all the fun extra bonuses. So, like, if you're interested, the Divinity tier gets a seasonal magic class based on, like, the 4 seasons. Duh. It'll be like season and elemental. So before March 21st, I'm going to need to do our winter magic class, which will be earth magic. So Sweet. Okay, I'm excited. Thank you all for being here, as always. And I will see you next week.